it. Too bad I didn't get that.
I'll probably do it again. You did. I just realized you did so many notes for yours. It
Arsenal game.
was boring.
The Arsenal game. Anyways. Guys, bonus episode, Champions League. We are talking about the quarterfinals. It was the first legs this past week. And next week we get the second legs. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. So we have 4 games being played. Each have 2 to talk about. And I'm a happy camper. I'm not gonna crash out this episode, guys. I'm sure you all loved that from our USMNT video. Shameless plug to check it out. Hint, hint, wink, wink, you know? I don't want to go back to that time. Anyways, we will go ahead with the quarterfinal recap.
Okay, guys, we were speaking of Arsenal beforehand, but this is the reason why their game was boring. Literally nothing happened for 90 minutes. I'm gonna be so straight with y'all. But let's get into it. So Arsenal beat Sporting 1-0. Sporting had 3 shots on target and 7 shots total. 42% of possession and 3 corners. Arsenal had 5 shots on target, 9 shots total, 58% of possession and 4 corners. Kai Havertz in the 90th plus 1 minute stoppage time in second half. And then David Raya, Arsenal's goalie, was the man of the match. That's pretty much how it went. Like, there wasn't, like, it was, Sporting and Arsenal had some good shots. They just weren't good enough. I'm gonna be so straight. Especially Sporting. Like, they were really trying, but they weren't.
Well, you know, when your goalie gets man of the match, that either means one of 2 things. It was a really good game, or nothing happened and you have to give it to someone on the field.
He did great with stopping those goals, but half the time the goals weren't even close to him. I'm gonna be so straight with y'all. So that's all I have to say. I don't think there's anything else really. I thought Arsenal had a goal for a second there in the beginning, towards like halftime, but no. No, they were close, but no. That's all I have to say. If you guys have any better like highlights you want to add in the comments, go ahead. But it was kind of.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and that's kind of the vibe I got from Twitter.
Yeah, I was like maybe I think like the 7th minute and like the highlights, I didn't even realize we were close to like 90 minutes on in the game, and I was like, and nothing's happened. And then we finally get the goal, the 90th plus 1. And I was like, bless the stars. Finally, something's happened. And then I just stopped watching.
Well, even like on the Galazzo show, they just didn't really talk that much about the game, which is quite ironic considering Thierry Henry is in their announcing crew, or their anchors, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And he's an Arsenal legend, so the fact that they didn't spend a lot of time talking about it.
It was like literally there's no other way to explain it. It was pretty boring. Like it really was. There were a couple seconds where I was like, no, absolutely not. Moving on.
Psych.
That was that game.
Our next game, we got a lot to talk about for this one. We have Atletico Madrid pulling arguably the upset here against 10-man Barcelona and winning 2-0. Barcelona had 8 shots on target, 15 shots total, 55% of possession, and 7 corners, compared to Atleti's 3 shots on target, 5 shots total, 45% of possession, and 1 corner. So originally Barca had a goal ruled offsides in the 17th minute, And then, like, nothing happened for a while. And until we got towards halftime, where VAR got referred for a red card on Pau Kubasi's challenge on the Atletico Madrid guy, and they were arguing that it wasn't a clear goal scoring opportunity, but it was a counterattack, so it's like, and it was on the edge of the box too. It's like it was 1v1 plus the keeper. It's like that's a pretty good goal scoring opportunity right there. I don't know if you can get much better than that. So it was just so funny watching them try and protest it, and I was like, there's no way this is getting overturned. Are you kidding me? Come on, guys. So that was in the 44th minute. Of course, the referee agreed with VAR's recommendation for a red card, so he gave that. And then Barcelona went down a player. So this leads to Atletico Madrid's first goal being scored by Julian Alvarez. This was the 45th minute in the first half, and this was off of the spot of the foul from the red card. And what a strike it was from him. It went just barely over the Barcelona goalie's outstretched hand, and the dip of it was just, and it went over the wall too, and like you could see just millimeters shorter, and it would have hit someone's head. It was such a great goal. But then we go to halftime. Nothing pretty much happens for a little bit, and then we have the 57th minute where we have Marcus Rashford hitting the crossbar. And that kind of just summed up Barcelona's luck for tonight, because they had multiple opportunities throughout the first half to try and get on the score sheet, and nothing really happened. And even when they did go one player down, they were still in the game and getting some offensive spells. Just nothing was happening out of that. And then in the 70th minute, out of nowhere, the other Atletico Madrid striker who got subbed on earlier in the game, Sorloth, got this crazy goal. Like, it came out of nowhere, and it was just a through ball from the midfield to the corner. The corner crossed it into the middle, and Sorloth was in the right spot at the right time. He made a great connection, and it just bounced right over the Barcelona goalkeeper's hand yet again. So, that all to say, the game ended 2-0 in favor of Atletico Madrid. And this is Diego Simeone's, Atletico Madrid's head coach. It's his first win ever at the Camp Nou, and this is Atletico's first win at the Camp Nou since 2006. So, just wild stuff, and Julian Alvarez was the man of the match for this game. So it was a great game, let me just tell you that.
Then we have PSG beats Liverpool 2-0. All I have to say is this was just a PSG game. Liverpool really didn't have a chance. Watching the highlights too, it's just the PSG highlights. You barely get anything from Liverpool because PSG was just so dominating in this game, and you'll see that in the stats. Liverpool had no shots on target and 3 shots total. They had 26% of possession in one corner. PSG had 7 shots on target, 17 shots total, 74% of possession and 3 corners. Again, like, the stats speak for themselves. Desiree, in the 11th minute got their first goal, and then I want to say it's Kvaratskhelia got their second goal in the 65th minute. And I will say Kvaratskhelia is one of the best players I've seen for PSG personally. I just started watching these, but In my opinion, I think he did really good. And of course, since we're speaking of him, he was the man of the match, which makes sense because he was out there ready to play. But really, all I have to say is this game was just a PSG game. They dominated and they took down Liverpool so easily. Liverpool didn't really have a chance. I don't even think they really tried. But that's my recap.
Well, we were talking about this earlier, and we were just like, it doesn't look good for Liverpool against PSG.
That was a fun game to watch. I'm not gonna lie, because Liverpool got destroyed. But I think there was one part in the game too where they said there was a foul, but it got overruled and it wasn't a foul. But that's like the only other part I really remember. But it was a pretty dominating game, to say the least. But I
Well, you
enjoyed
know
it.
who I saw was at the game?
Right. Ocon
Mhm.
and his girlfriend Flavie and Pierre Gasly, because they're
Mhm.
big PSG fans. Isn't Isaac Hadjar a PSG fan?
He was also at the game.
I didn't see that. So I bet they enjoyed their game. You know who didn't enjoy their game? Lando Norris.
Anyway, what? It was so weird for him to show up at the sporting game. I mean,
Right?
you know what? I don't care enough. But it was so weird. I'm like, why are you showing up to a Portugal game? He was just at the Atletico Barcelona game this weekend.
Yeah.
Why is he going back and forth between the two?
Bored, I guess. You know, they weren't supposed to be on breaks.
I have $10. He'll go to the Barcelona Atletico game again.
Surprise me.
But yeah.
Just to put that in perspective, though, I don't like PSG, but they played well. I don't want anyone thinking I'm a PSG fan.
Well, you know, the thing that really takes me off is the situation with Lens or whatever, the other club that they were supposed to face in League One. And then they ended up getting the league to reschedule the game because of this. And it's like, well, look how good your team did. Do you really need that game to be rescheduled? Because I don't think Liverpool is going to come back.
Right?
0 shots on target. This is the first time in the Champions League, I believe, that they haven't registered a shot on target.
Even like the percentage, like the possession. Usually everyone's either like, it's like they're balanced, but they're like either one's a little bit more than the other. But this is like two other different like levels of like
yeah,
like
3/4
they barely
versus a 4th.
Yeah. There was like that was a sad game on their part, but dominating for PSG.
Well,
anyways,
we know
moving on.
Liverpool's head coach isn't continuing after this season. They're supposedly hiring Xabi Alonso, who was recently let go by one of these next clubs we're going to talk about. Actually, he played for both of these clubs that we're about to talk about. Anyways. The game of the week! Yeah, let's go! Bayern Munich beat Real Madrid 2-1. This is the first time since 2001 that Bayern have beat Real Madrid at Real Madrid. Oh, you guys know I was cautiously optimistic going into this game, and honestly, the scoreline definitely should have been higher. But that's what I'm gonna leave it at. We're gonna go into the stats for this game. So, pretty offensive, if I'm being honest. Real Madrid, 10 shots on target, 21 shots total, 48% of possession, and 8 corners. Bayern, 4 shots on target, 19 shots total, 52% of possession, and 11 corners. So, the opening 10 minutes, both teams were, trading punches back and forth. The 9th minute, however, we had a great ball from the back, from Kimmich at the top of the box to the back post where Harry Kane was, who then crossed it across the goal. And then Upamecano, our center back, scuffed the shot, and Real Madrid was able to have a goal line clearance. So I was just thinking the entire time, I was just like, well, why did they not just switch positions there? Why was Upa not in Harry's spot and Harry in Upa's spot? But whatever. It happened. The next couple of minutes here, we're still settling into the game. The intensity is still high between both sides. Manuel Neuer is playing out of his mind. He played out of his mind this entire game. He made multiple great shots. Stops throughout the game. And some of them I was just like, bro is 40 and he's still making these saves. Like, this is nuts. The 27th minute, Real Madrid have a defensive mistake after a high pressure from Alex Pavlovich and Serge Gnabry. They were extremely lucky it was Serge hitting that ball and not Harry Kane. Because had it been Harry Kane, that would have been a goal. But anyways, Serge scuffed it again. But then we arrive to the 41st minute where we have one of the best team goals I have seen from us this season. We had beautiful build-up from the midfield. We had a one-touch, two-touch. It went a through ball from Serge Gnabry to Luis Diaz. Just a little. And the finish was outstanding. It was just like, I saw it and we scored first and I was like, let's go. But a side note on this is that there is a infamous clip rolling around the internet, or it's a picture as well. But it's Luis Diaz celebrating, and in the background. So in the foreground, there's two Real Madrid defenders, their one center back and their goalkeeper. And their center back was calling for a handball, and their goalkeeper was calling for offsides. And I was like, guys, if you're gonna appeal for this, you could at least be consistent about it.
Yeah.
Like, why are you trying to get the ref to call two different things here? That's obviously not gonna happen.
Right?
But yeah, we lead 1-0 half. So we go in to the second half. And this is just so funny to me, but some people's games hadn't even come back on, and other people were live tweeting, and they were like, Harry Kane scores again! And the subtweets are all like, my game is still on commercial, what do you mean he already scored? And I was like, this is why I refreshed mine over halftime. But it was a great goal in the 46th minute to open up the half. It comes from a turnover from Alex Pavlovich, who then carried the ball a little bit down the field. He passed it to Michael Olise, who then cut in before laying it off. Just a nice little easy pass to Harry Kane, who hit it right outside the box and into the corner of the goal. It was just outstanding. But then we go a little bit further into the game. Majority of our corners of this game, as you can see, as I said previously, we had 11 corners. Majority of those were from Michael Olise's side because he was just on that Real Madrid left back. Let me just tell you, because he did not look like he knew what was going on majority of the game, and Michael was just like carving him out all the time, and I was just like, yes, Michael, you cook up that side. So I'm kind of curious to see how Real Madrid will adjust for the second leg. But that's not all. So in the 60th to 70th-ish minute range, Real Madrid kind of got more of their offense going. They had more offensive possession spells. However, then Manuel Neuer playing out of his mind, he was a wall. Or the shots just went into the side netting because Neuer just has that mental game, and he just thinks steps ahead, so he can trick you into doing what he wants you to do. Yeah, it's wild. But this then leads up to a Real Madrid goal, which, by the way, I would have liked to see the goal line technology, but I wasn't able to watch the replay on the goal line technology. But not to put the blame on anyone, but this was a defensive error on Upamecano because he kind of let Mbappe go at the back post. It was almost like Upamecano didn't realize that he had Mbappe on his back shoulder going towards the goal. So that's kind of what led to Mbappe's goal in the 70th. And then from there, it was just kind of like trading blows every now and then. The game kind of settled down, but we won 2-1, and we did it away from home, and that's the big thing. So Manuel Neuer was the man of the match for this game. And my personal favorite, I don't know about you, Julie, but my personal favorite moment of the game was when Michael Olise was trolling Vinny. Because, for those of you who don't know, in 2024, Bayern played Real Madrid, and we should have won the game. Anyway, so that's besides the point. Vinny was purposely time-wasting and being disrespectful towards our team, Joshua Kimmich in particular, who went to hand Vinny the ball, and every time Vinny went to get the ball, he just dropped it. So it was just really disrespectful and everything. So what Michael did during this game, so him and Connie were both on the sideline getting ready to take a throw in. Michael had the ball, and he just goes and like chucks it down at the ground and watch it. It just flies up over Connie.
I saw that.
In the background, you can see Vinny just throwing a fit on the field and looking at the ref and being like, but it's like, brother, you did the same thing 2 years ago. You have no room to be complaining right now. Right. So the only difference is that we did this away from home, not at our home field. So, but yeah, and there were, I mean, we should have gotten a penalty in stoppage time at the end of the second half. Didn't happen because the ref kind of just ignored that clear foul on Michael Olise, even though he gave a similar penalty in 2018 to Juventus Real Madrid. I don't remember which way it was going, but it was that game. It's just like, oh, why can't you just make consistent calls? It's only what, 8 years later? Like,
yeah,
whatever. But yeah, the game was great. We got the second leg coming up, and I just really, well, I can't say that, so we're gonna ignore that. Anyways, so the second legs of the quarterfinals, the matchups stay the same, however, the home venue changes. So Arsenal with the home field advantage at the Emirates, Atleti at the Metropolitan, Liverpool with Anfield, although we all kind of have an idea what's gonna happen there. And then Bayern with the Allianz Arena. I am so excited. Our fans showed up and it was great. They were louder than the Real Madrid fans at times. So I'm just excited to see what a stadium full of Bayern fans is gonna do and how that atmosphere is gonna be. I got chills thinking about it.
I know. But that is our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments any of your thoughts and ideas about the games, anything you're excited to see, or what you think is going to happen in this next second leg. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on our post notifications because you don't want to miss our next couple videos. Go check out our links in the description below for our other social media pages down below. And we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're actually doing really great right now. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed recently. It means a lot to us. But yeah, that is our video. So I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes. Mia san mia, guys. Mia san mia.